If you watch part 1, you will know the why. Food builds the brain, sleep organises what it has learned, and steady energy release readies your child for learning. Here's what a lot of parents actually want to know. What does this look like in real life? Not on a good day, but on a normal Tuesday. When your child refuses what you made, when the same food that worked last week gets pushed away this week, when the only thing that gets eaten on their plate is the bread or the pasta. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Hello, welcome to Dynamic Learning.
Hello, I'm Jane, and welcome to Dynamic Learning, the channel made by parents for parents. We've done the research, so you don't have to. I want to say up front that none of what we are going to cover is about following the perfect diet. It doesn't require expensive ingredients. It doesn't require you to stick to a rigid plan. It's about understanding patterns and feeling like you have a handle of them. We've covered why nutrients matter in part 1. Here, we're going to take a quick look at what they are and where they come from. Iron helps red blood cells that carry oxygen to the brain. You'll find it in lean meats, lentils, white beans, spinach, and fortified cereals. If you're serving plant-based sauces, pair them with something high in vitamin C. Strawberries or sweet peppers work brilliantly because it helps the body absorb significantly more. Omega-3s are structural building blocks for the brain and eyes. Are oily fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines. If you're going plant-based, walnuts, chia seeds, and flax seeds all contribute. Choline is one that doesn't get talked about enough. It supports memory and mood regulation in the developing brain. Eggs, meat, fish, broccoli, and beans are all great sources. Iodine fuels the thyroid hormones that drive early brain development. Cow's milk, eggs, sea fish, and dairy are your practical go-tos here. Zinc supports growth, immunity, and cell function. Meat, poultry, beans, whole grains, and dairy all help. And vitamin D is essential for bone health and immune function. It's hard to get from food alone, so it's worth a conversation with your GP about whether your child needs a supplement, particularly here in the UK. Now here's the reassuring part. These nutrients overlap more than you might think. Eggs give you choline, iodine, and vitamin D. Oily fish covers omega-3s, iodine, and vitamin D too. A varied diet is a diverse diet, and this does a lot of work. Variety naturally stacks these nutrients. You're not solving individual puzzle pieces, you're simply working across the food groups. One of the most useful things I can tell you is that nutrition for young children isn't about what a single day looks like. It's about what this variety looks like across your week. A healthy diet isn't a perfect plate. It's variety across your week. 3 meals, 2 to 3 snacks a day, and children who arrive at the table who are actually hungry. That's what we're aiming for. If Tuesday's supper was white bread, or even plain pasta, that's fine. The question here is, what did the rest of your week look like? Did you have fish at any point, or any other kind of protein? Did you have eggs? What were the fruits and vegetables that you ate across the week? Did you have dairy, like milk or yogurt? You're not trying to condense all these food groups into every single meal. You're trying to create that variety and spread it throughout your week. So let's dive in and take a look at what a week with variety would look like. Eggs 2 to 3 times a week, scrambled at breakfast. Maybe you have fried rice midweek, and maybe later on in the week you have a boiled egg. Oily fish once. Maybe that's salmon pasta, sardines on toast, or whatever your child actually likes to eat. Lentils or beans once or twice a week, perhaps in soup or a dip, or mixed into a sauce. Dairy most days. Yogurt, cheese, and milk are some great sources of dairy. Fruits and vegetables dotted here and there throughout the week. Even when it's just a few bites, even when most of it ends up on the floor, all of these little bits eventually add up throughout your week. It's not a strict plan, it's a general shape, and even that shape can change from week to week. because some weeks someone's ill, maybe you're traveling, maybe the shop didn't have what you needed. The goal here is the general pattern, not a strict, rigid system. Goals are forgiving in a way when a single day doesn't quite pan out. A rigid routine sets you up for failure. In part 1, we briefly touched on sleep, but here I would like us to dive a little deeper because all of this connects to what we've just been talking about. Sleep is more than just rest to those little minds. Sleep is a crucial part of learning. It's when memories from the day get sorted, stored, and locked in. Every nap, every night, it all counts. Now here is where that food-sleep connection becomes relevant again. What your child eats and when actually affects how well they sleep at night. Research has found that dietary nutrients interact directly with the systems that regulate the sleep-wake cycle, including serotonin and melatonin. I want to be very careful as to not overstate this. The research doesn't tell us stop eating by this time and you'll sleep better. But here's what it is saying. 3 meals and 2 to 3 snacks doesn't just feed your child, it regulates them. A consistent eating pattern across the day is associated with more regular sleep at night. When sleep is regular and sufficient, memory consolidation happens. Learning builds on itself and your child is ready to engage again. It's a cycle, and it's worth viewing the thing as a whole. Food supports rhythm. Rhythm supports sleep. Sleep supports memory, and memory supports learning. And a child who's learning and well rested, they engage more readily with food and routine. It's a full circle. You're not controlling every part of this, but by keeping an eye on variety and routine, you're supporting the conditions. So, let's bring this back to something simple. The NHS Eat-well guide gives us 5 food groups: fruits and vegetables, starchy carbs, dairy or alternatives, proteins, and oils and spreads. And here's the reassuring part. This covers all the foods we've just talked about: eggs, oily fish, lentils, beans, whole grains. You're not looking for anything exotic or expensive. You're just working across the groups throughout your week. Now for a little bit of parental reassurance. Toddlers and young children are notoriously inconsistent eaters. Foods they loved a month ago, or even a week ago, they're now refusing to eat. This isn't a sign of something that's gone wrong. This is all developmentally normal, and it doesn't erase the variety that you've been offering. Before we finish, I would like to say something directly to you. No parent can control absolutely everything that goes into their child's body. Remember, it is our job as parents to prepare food and put it on the table for them. It's their job to eat it. If you found this interesting or helpful in any way, sharing it with another parent is the best way to help this channel grow. Comment, share, like, subscribe, the whole shebang. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.